family? So this video is on sugar. Yes, I know I covered sugar before, but this one was about, well, that one was about an additive in sugar. This one is about how sugar is slowly killing you. It's something that we don't often consider because sugar is quite yummy. I know from experience, so don't worry, don't judge me here. But when it comes to sugar, we have to understand a couple of things. First, not all sugar is created equal. A lot of the products that we find in the stores for like those top cookies like Oreos and I don't know, I'm like totally brain farting, but like Krispy Kremes and all those really mainstream sugars, when you look at their ingredients, there are so many mixtures and variations of the sugar, whether it's inverted or high fructose corn syrup, or some say cane sugar, but then you'll also see an inverted sugar, and you'll also see high fructose corn syrup, and you'll also see just other variations of sugar in it on top of the carbs that convert to sugar in your system. And so, in understanding that every sugar is not the same kind of sugar, it's not all from sugar cane. Some of it's just from corn. Some of it is from sugar cane, but it's heavily processed and chemically created to make it more addictive. And it doesn't process well in the body because our bodies don't understand it. They can't grasp it. It's like, what is this thing? So keeping that in mind when it comes to sugar is highly, highly important. And then the second thing about sugar is that don't think you got it off easy because you're doing something that says no sugar, sugar different, xylitol, and all these other things. They still have a chemical reaction within your body because of the fact that the body doesn't quite respond to it well. And I know a lot of people will argue those points, especially when someone that is considered knowledgeable or reputable vouches for these things. But it is the hard truth. So before I get into how it's slowly killing you, just make sure that you do your own research. That even people that seem highly reputable, and myself, other health coaches that talk about sugar and like the negative effects of it, I recommend you doing research. Once you get past the first page of Google, once you get past Wikipedia, once you get past all those articles that were by people that were paid by big business companies to tell you that, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Once you get past that, you're going to find some really reputable scientists and doctors who genuinely want to help people heal and get better. Now, on the flip side, if you want to keep eating that stuff, you do you, boo-boo. I'm trying to help those that want to be free from the food of Babylon. I want to be free from the foods that are slowly killing us. Free from the foods that have no business being in our bodies. Because at the end of the day, when we, for our lifestyles, we need to be making our own stuff. We need to be making food that is better for our bodies. And that if we make desserts, we know it's coming from good ingredients, real ingredients, tasty ingredients. But let me not get all into that because I could talk about that for days. So, the first way of how sugar is slowly killing you is that it completely shuts down your immune system. I can't say completely. Yeah, forgive me. Not completely, but it lowers your immune system considerably for hours. Why is that important? Because when you're going out and about, when you are getting busy and going things and working and running, and then you're not getting a lot of sleep and you got so much and you're constantly putting sugar products, and your system's getting lower, you're making yourself more susceptible to disease. You make yourself more susceptible to sickness. You're making yourself more susceptible to things that you could really have avoided had you just focused on not eating so much sugar, minimizing how often you put sugar in your system, and then the type of sugars that you put in your system. Because again, they're not all created equal. And I still have to do research on what each sugar does and how long it lowers your immune system, but this is still a fact of what happens. So keeping that in mind, that sugar is something that you should be consuming when you're relaxing at home. You're not going around with no cooties, and it's something that you've made, and you're like, okay, I know this is cane sugar. I know this is honey. I know this is coconut sugar. Something that is better for your body so that you can consume with ease. The other thing about sugar is that it converts to fat in your body. So you see a lot of low fat things, but then what happens with low fat, which they don't tell you, is that they add a variation of sugar to it because low fat is nasty. When they take all the sugar out of, all the fat out of it, they add sugar to it to make sure it tastes good. And then they also add other additives sometimes just to make sure that you're like, oh, this is so good. I need to have this again. When it's not, they put a chemical or some kind of product in there, like a solvent or something, that chemically reacts to your brain, telling you that you want more of this. And you're buying into it, like, yes, I do want more of this low-fat, disgusting thing that's really sweet. And really, it's not that good. Like, a lot of times, it's like that first bite, it's like, meh. And then you taste it again, you're like, okay, it's not that bad. And you hit another one, I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. And then you keep eating, not listening to that first bite, when you're like, something's not right about this. Because if it's not right, it's because it's not right. It's not right. It shouldn't, like when you first taste it, it should be it should be it's okay. It should be it's gross. And if you keep biting it, it should taste the same from that first. Not everybody likes carrots. Not everybody likes beets. But at the same time, when you taste it, every bite tastes the same. It doesn't change your perception. But the reason why it changes with sugar is that your body's gotten used to having more of that chemical in there that's talking to your brain saying, hey, you want me, you want me, you want more of me. And then you're like, yeah, yes I do. So don't do that. Don't do that. But then beyond that, sugar itself, it completely converts to fat in your body. And then on top of that, with the carbs that convert to sugars that convert to fat in your body, you're putting yourself and making yourself more susceptible to diseases like gestational diabetes, like diabetes 1 and 2. You know, I know they say that 1 is a hereditary thing, but listen, diabetes 1 can go away with the right healing and nutrition. And it starts in the womb from the mother, but you can reverse these things, right? There are plenty of nutritionists out there that can help you reverse these things. There are plenty of health coaches that know what to do to help you get on that path of reversing it, but let me not get on that. But there are so many diseases that happen, and then on top of that, you're just putting more stress on your body because it's creating fat, it's creating bile, so you're getting more susceptible to having gallstones. You're getting more susceptible to, because you're compounding things, right? So gallstones is also because of high bit of fat in there as well, but you're compounding on top of it. You're making it harder for your body to process. You're making it harder for your liver to detox. You're making it harder for your pancreas, harder for your brain. You're making it harder on your body to process things, to keep you in the optimum state of health. So these are things that you want to consider, because when you make it harder on your body to process, then it starts doing process of elimination. What do I need to work on the most right now to preserve the life of this body? And so something will go to the wayside. Something will get thrown out, and then you start developing things. You start developing diseases. So then what happens? You go to the doctor, they give you some drugs that causes even more disease in your body. So it's like this weird endless cycle of needing the system to get rid of the symptoms, to need the symptoms, because need the symptoms to go away. So you need more of the system, and you keep getting more and more and higher dosages to the point that something in your body fails. And I know that sounds extreme, but that's literally what happens. That's what's happened in my family. That's what happened to many families that I've spoken to. And it's just an endless, vicious cycle. So it's just something to really consider. My computer keeps turning off. Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. And then the last thing is that sugar makes your body more acidic. So if you are trying to heal from a disease, if you're trying to heal your body from something that's plaguing you, then you don't want an acidic body. You know, I am not a person that eats alkaline vegan all the time, but I truly believe in an alkaline vegan diet if you're trying to heal from disease. So with that being said, if you're trying to heal from disease, you want to eat as alkaline as possible. You want your body to have a lower pH so that your body can just completely heal from all that nastiness that's in there. It's so important to keep that in mind, that in order to heal, you need to get an alkaline body, especially when you're dealing from chronic diseases, especially when you're dealing with things that people say are hereditary. These are things that you need to do for your body. And so consuming a lot of sugar is not helping you to heal at all. I hate to break it to you, but that's the truth, honey. It is. So please keep that in mind. Keep these things in mind when it comes to sugar. These are things that are slowly killing you. And when it comes to the food of Babylon, it's in everything. It really is. You know, it don't take much to turn the label around and see that it's truly in everything. That doesn't mean you have to go extreme and absolutely consume no sugar. It just means that moderate yourself. Make sure that you are lowering it bit by bit until you're getting to a point where you can have it periodically in a healthier way, that you're removing the processed ingredients, that you're drinking more water and checking the sugars and getting healthier sugars for your body, that you're using alternative sugars like coconut sugar and honey. Turbinado cane sugar is also great too, because you get a little bit of the molasses, which gives some extra minerals to your body, which is the minerals are good for you. So in moderation, it's not so bad. But it has to be a true moderation. Moderation doesn't mean 2-3 times a week. You know, once in a while, you know, once a month maybe, will be ideal. But just making sure that if you're having it once a week, that it is literally once a week. Not, well, I made it on Sunday, but we're still eating it on Tuesday. Like, that's not once a week. I know, because my family has been very guilty of that. But it's just me being honest with you guys, because, everybody's got to continue to grow, and sugar is just, it's a huge addiction for all of us. As I said in my latest article, it is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. So when you're looking at removing sugar from your body, don't beat yourself up when you're struggling. Just keep pushing forward. And then, as always, consult Yahuah, because Yah will guide you. Reading the scriptures, understanding, praying to him, telling him you need help, being honest with yourself and saying that, I can't do this on my own. It's too hard. Or being honest with yourself, like really honest, and say, I really don't want to let this go, but I know I should, because this temple's for you, because your word said that my temple is for you. My body, that's your temple. My body is your temple, yeah. Because when you're honest with Yahuah, he'll give you the steps and he'll help you. I know with me, he was like, I'm going to help you whether you like it or not. You got a corn allergy. And corn is in everything, which is a very popular sugar additive. But I'm thankful for that, because it took away my favorite go-to drugs, meaning the candies. I had my favorites. I never really did any of those other, I didn't do anything crazy. I just liked a lot of candy, to the point that I've had several cavities fixed because of it. So protect the children. I know I got to. Anyway, let me not ramble, but I love you guys. I hope you find this video extremely helpful. And if you have any questions, or you want to share additional information that will help some of the readers on the website and the watchers of the video, please put it in the comments below. I love discussing, and if there are things that need correction, I'm always willing to humble myself and discuss with people. But I don't argue with people. People got an attitude, I will delete your comment. But if you want to discuss in love, I'm always here. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and follow and all those fun social media terms. And I will talk to you soon. Shalom.